the investigative process when it comes to
pretty hard. To make money, that's a big thing. All right, but
so the investigative process when it comes to
pretty hard.
It's not that good. Nate Dogg!
I'm
Nate
finna
Dogg!
assassinate the governor.
Nate Dogg! Bark! Bark, Nate Dogg!
Clown, I'm gonna have to mute you here real quick because I do want to start talking. Appreciate the intro music. It's very nice. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I just have a brief statement to deliver. I know that you probably all just want to skip to the questions here, but I will go ahead and deliver my statement. For those of you who are in the Discord audience as well as in the actual in-game audience, you may want to mute me on one end, just because there is a slight delay between the two of them, and it does get a little grating on the ears if you listen to it for too long.
Back, Maurice.
I have long said that it is vitally important for government So, I signed the Gun Rights Act of 2023 into law. The Gun Rights Act, a product of these negotiations and written by my administration, provides for the creation of a firearms license a tier above an RFLID, the Ridgway State Firearms License. This license, which will be issued by the Ridgway County Sheriff's Office, will permit citizens to carry a weapon magazine with a capacity greater than 15 rounds. To obtain the license, you must not have committed any violent or gun-related felony offenses, and any commission of these offenses will be grounds for revocation of this license. Any supervisor, as with an RFLID, will be able to request a revocation of the SFL to the Sheriff's Office. Over the next week, the application process will be outlined by the Sheriff's Office following meetings and discussions with its leadership. It is also possible that depending on this license's success rate, it may be folded into the game as a physical card. For now, the Sheriff's Office will maintain a public database of registered holders. Through this program, we are making sure that law-abiding citizens have the right to use these weapons and criminals cannot. I want to thank everyone in this community who voiced their opinions to my office and to the Senate about this important legislation. With this law, we are taking yet another major step towards resolving this issue. I welcome your feedback and ask for your patience as we coordinate the implementation of this law. And now I will take your questions. If you have a license to, yeah. Yes, Carnage. Rylan, I'm going to have to mute you because I do want to actually listen to what people have to say. Carnage, can you repeat the question? Did you say, I think your question was, does this mean that I can carry with my goon squad, right? Well, if your goon squad's not committing any firearm or violent felonies, yeah, you can, if you have a license. If they all have the license, which would mean that none of them have committed any firearm-related crimes, I mean, really anything like that, that would mean that they're all law-abiding citizens and they should have the right to carry those guns. But if they were to commit a firearm-related felony or any kind of firearm crime, they're going to get those licenses revoked, and that means they're not allowed to carry those guns anymore. Probably just one time. I'm gonna. Can someone let me know if Rylan is making noise? All right, I unmuted Rylan. There. Yeah, you were. There's no doubt about it. I'm just telling you now. Like there was no question about it. You were definitely making noise. I already did. Yes, you might have said it. I was told that Gamma would like to speak in the stage channel. I don't see a request to speak. Oh, he unraised his hand. Okay. Is there any other questions? Go ahead, MWM. Probably. Yeah, go ahead. What's your question? Rylan can probably have it after I'm done, for sure. Thank you. Appreciate your... Gun rights. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't even know anybody got arrested for that. You can't get arrested for saying you don't like me. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Yeah, go ahead. I'm against law. I'm against criminals having guns. I'm for law-abiding citizens having guns. Excuse me. No, I want to give you your guns back. No. No, I don't. I do if you, but here's what I'll tell you. Here's what I'll tell you. I want to take away your guns if you're using them to kill people who are innocent civilians. You don't deserve to have weapons if you're doing that.
I have another question, sir. Another question.
Okay, Drow, I'm sorry, just a minute. Drow, can you mute your audio, please? Because, well, I guess you don't have to. It's just because everybody can hear my voice twice again. But yeah, you know what? It's fine. All right, what was that question? Go ahead and repeat it. Who said that? Go ahead.
Having guns?
Probably. I personally enjoy lighting up.
What about users of alcohol?
No,
I'm drinking right now, guys.
stop drinking. Please do not be hammered while you're conducting government business. That's not good.
This is my third one.
Could the disabled use firearms? Would you take away their firearms?
If they committed a felony, yes.
Take away Pinky's guns. Too unstable.
Here's the deal, guys. This is the bottom line about this new policy. If you are a law-abiding citizen, you get to keep them. Do whatever you want. But the moment you start shooting at people, the moment you start breaking the law, we're taking them away. That is
What if I have a traffic citation?
that doesn't matter. You're gonna
What are we taking away?
traffic citations don't matter in this particular situation. And also non-violent felonies don't matter. For example, if your felony isn't gun related or it isn't related to you conducting some sort of violent act that would make it seem like you probably shouldn't have weapons, those are not part of this. But the moment that you start doing things that are illegal and that warrant being arrested for a violent or gun related felony, then you no longer are qualified for the license. Anybody else? It's really quiet in here. Usually it is not this quiet. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. So do you think you're gonna get much backlash from these?
You know, I don't think so because this is a compromise. This legislation is a result of. So I don't know if you guys have been watching the polls that we've been doing on this issue, but this is 50-50. This whole thing. Half the community thinks that everybody should be able to use these. Half the community thinks that nobody should be able to use these. So we're just kind of trying to shoot down the middle a little bit here to make it so that everybody's wishes are considered, and we're actually providing a solution that makes sense and is long term going to be effective for the people in the community. And that basically is making sure that we're meeting on common ground. The common ground between, I think, everybody in the community, except of course the criminals, would be that when you have law-abiding citizens should be able to use these weapons. Non-law-abiding citizens will not. That's just generally how this works. Oh my God, carnage culture!
Guys, when do I get the podium? I have a Q&A.
Oh man, you weren't kidding. Somebody is going to shoot at me.
What are your thoughts on people who think that felons have gone to jail and therefore already served their service and should have their inalienable?
That's kind of a big question. I don't really know what do I think about those people?
Yeah, I'm just asking your thoughts on that idea.
I think that people who have... Are you talking about people that want to go legal that have already been to jail?
Yes.
Well, that's why we have expungements. I would seriously encourage those people to get themselves expunged. If they can't get expunged, I don't pardon people very often. In fact, I think I've only done it twice. But the more people that we have in the community who are interested in working as hard as they can towards making things better and not just shooting people in game. Not that crime's not important, because it definitely does keep us active, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to people who are looking to become legal who have not been up until that point, I seriously encourage that. I think the expungement tool is one of the best things that we have in the community.
Hey, tell him.
What about people without the means to expunge?
People without the means to expunge. What do you mean by that?
Doesn't expungement costs money, right?
I'm not exactly familiar with that. I believe it might. I think there's a filing fee. I don't remember exactly how much it is, if I'm being honest with you.
So what about the people without the means to get that money? Would you be willing to take on a loan service to
That's a good idea.
Illegal to legal?
I'll be honest with you, Dev. I hadn't really thought of that, and I think that actually is a decent idea. I didn't realize that I know that there is a filing fee, but I didn't. I guess my question is there a proportion of the community that wants to expunge but can't because they can't afford it? That would be something that I would look into, and if the answer to that question is yes, then absolutely we should do that. The only other problem that I'm seeing just from thinking about it at the current moment is that we don't actually have a government checking account, for example. All we have is our personal cash. So in terms of mine, I mean, I would be willing to use mine, but I don't know that we would have more than 5K, you know what I'm saying? But
Right. Would you be willing to contract with a business to make this happen?
I don't think so. Not right now. I wouldn't, unless there was something that was very clearly established already and being able to do this. I don't think I would do that at the current stage. Because we don't really have stuff like banks, or the financial system really does need a little bit of work. It kind of doesn't exist in a certain sense. We don't really have the economy system that I wish we did, but that kind of gets into a little bit of a development sort of thing. But that, I mean, contracting with a business certainly is an option. I won't say it's out of the question for sure.
And one last question.
Sure.
What are your thoughts on cane farmers to being able to protect their crops?
That's a good question. I think that the laws that we have now, there is the notion of castle doctrine. However, I think that you'd probably still get arrested if somebody came and trampled on your crops and you shot them. I don't know if that might...
certainly seems like something you need to fix.
Potentially. There might be some room there for legislation to sort of allow for a little bit more of defense. However, I don't really think that it's a good idea to just blanketly legalize murder if you stomp on crops. I think that that's not realistic, and that's not how it works in real life. I definitely think that we can do something a little bit more to make it illegal to trample people's crops if they're on their property and stuff like that.
We need to protect our farmers. They're the
I
backbone of
agree.
this community.
I agree. One of the reasons why I think that sugarcane farming is so cool is because it's sort of opening the door, if you know what I'm saying, to an economy system that we don't really have. And I want to, as long as I'm around here, hopefully longer, but as long as I'm around for now, I want to do whatever we can to expand on that, which is why my administration said we were not illegalizing sugarcane. We kept it legal, 100%. That's one of the reasons why. It's because we want the economy to grow. We want this to
Yeah,
expand.
I got some questions for that guy in the back.
All right, thank you.
What about the fact that sugar cane's
Hang on a minute.
gateway drug?
I just want to say for one thing real quick. Dev, thank you very much for your questions. Those are the kind that I like. I appreciate those questions because they make me think about stuff. So thank you for that. I think it was.
Somebody invite me to the Ridgeway Discord.
You're not in there? That's weird.
It's literally discord.gg/Ridgeway.
Blue Percival, what's your question? I like your outfit.
What is your opinion on the fact that sugar cane is a gateway drug?
I don't believe it is.
No, those are lies.
What if I told you
I
that
gotta-
fact
Can we
checkers
get
say it
Wyman up
is?
on the podium?
Those fact checkers would be who exactly?
Back there.
The people.
Hey Blue,
Also,
did you know that you sound like Nate Dogg? I swear to God, I thought it was Nate.
what you mean by that?
You sound like Nate.
Kind of racist.
Nate who?
Kind of
Nate who?
racist.
Nate Poggers.
But I mean,
Who's saying?
another question.
Toxie,
Can you
go ahead.
Can you repeat that thing about you're gonna take the guns?
I'm gonna take the guns if you're shooting people with them. For sure, I am.
What if you legally shoot someone with it?
Well,
and you're
then it's
also
legal. So
police?
it's.
Can you say it like, I will take your
but
gun?
what-
Hang on. Hey Dev, can I just take Toxies real quick and then I'll come to you? Is this new license going to have developer support to implement in a physical license in the game? Toxie, that's an excellent question. I was told. I've been talking about this with Arium and a few other a few other people from the development side of things. And one thing that we did that I was told is that that's definitely a possibility. I did mention that in my statement that I think that it will depend on how successful that this trial run is. If we end up getting a significant reduction or an actual resolution to the issue, rather than just making them illegal or legal, which is what we've done up until this point. Hang on just a minute. Is Toxie, damn it, you're the only cop in the room. Can you get these people off the stage who aren't supposed to be here, please?
Don't worry, Blue Burger, take care of it. Get the fuck out today.
I have a press pass. I'm supposed to be here.
Alright, Lars?
You can be here if you have, just don't be up here. Just go sit down where you're supposed to be, because it makes it look unorganized. Just to tell you guys, okay?
We don't really give a fuck if it looks organized.
Well,
just-
I don't know why you're here then.
Mr. Governor, question, please.
Yes.
I'm here to oppose you
So
taking our
let's
fucking gun.
let's say that you shoot someone in self-defense, right? And let's just say, for the sake of argument, that you go through a long court.
It's
case.
really hard to
Just
answer hypothetically.
okay. Well, I'm just saying this for the sake of argument.
Okay.
right? But you'll understand the question more thoroughly once I'm finished. So for the sake of argument, let's say at the outcome of the case is not guilty or whatever.
Okay.
The person doesn't go to jail, right? So let's say that during the court process, is that person's access to guns going to be restricted?
I have no idea. Just for the simple reason that, that's a good question. I'm trying to think. That's something that we probably haven't ironed out quite yet. My initial answer to you is no, but I don't know that I'm going to be able to foresee everything that might happen because of this. I would say that mistakes being made on that is probably possible. I want to do everything we can to avoid them before they happen. But I think that one of the things that definitely could happen, just based on how this has worked in the past and how the current arrest system and everything else works. Like, for example, I mean, when you get arrested for anything that's already on your record and in the current state that the law is now, that would then be grounds for the revocation of your license. So,
Even for misdemeanors.
well, misdemeanors are not relevant to the license,
Okay.
so it wouldn't matter. I'm talking, just to remind everybody, the only thing that matters to the license is a violent or gun-related felony. If it's not
If I kill someone,
even if it's a felony, if it's not violent or gun-related, the license is not getting revoked.
Apologies, you said arrested. That's a very broad term.
Oh, I apologize. I'm talking, if you were arrested for a violent or gun-related felony, yeah. But I was just kind of expanding a little bit further on the question that you asked, which was that, let's say that you were arrested for a violent or gun-related felony. Is your access to those weapons going to be suspended during that time? And I think that the answer to that question is probably yes, just because of the way that the system currently works. I don't know if that's the right way to do it. I also don't know if there's a better way. There probably is somewhere that we can work on, but at the current moment, you would be arrested for that felony. Somebody would put the request in at the sheriff's office to have your license revoked. It would probably get revoked. And then if a court were to, this is the unfortunate part about our legal system in a certain sense.
The concept of innocent until proven guilty, or
Yeah, that's the
or you
problem
just-
around here, because it kind of isn't that way. You know what I'm saying? Because you get arrested for this crime, and for the vast majority of people who get booked, you don't go before a court unless you speak up. You know what I mean?
So what about the outliers? Are we gonna leave them behind?
I think that the scope of your question is a little bit larger than you think. I don't know if I think you're talking about how do we make the legal system work better, and I definitely think that there's room to do that, but in a certain sense, there's also a development side to it that we can't control. You know what I mean?
Can someone else speak now?
Austin, you can go ahead if you have an actual question, and you're not here to just tell me that I suck.
If I killed you right now, like, could I go buy a gun?
Probably not. There's always the chance that the
See,
police officer that arrested you would be negligent.
That's the issue. That's
What,
the
that you can't murder people?
should
It's
be a-
against
I
the
should
law,
be
my
a-
friend.
No, owning a gun is a God-given right. Okay?
Not when you use it to murder innocent people.
You're not innocent. You're far from innocent, buddy.
Are felons allowed to vote?
Yeah, I'd have to go look. I don't remember.
I want a legislative point of view from this.
Interesting.
Alright. Let's be.
It's very true that you press gun rights.
Press gun rights. What would the press do with the ability to have a gun regardless of situation?
Press. Oh, press.
I think the way the law previously was absolutely oppressed gun rights. I don't think it does now. I think this law releases a lot of those restrictions because a lot of the people, I think that something that people don't often consider when it comes to this situation is that a lot of the people who want to have these guns oftentimes are going to want to do, illegal things with them, which if they do, it's against the law. They're going to get their license revoked. But I do think that there is people who want to use them for recreational purposes and just want to possess the guns because they want them, which is perfectly fine as long as you're not breaking the law. If you get what if you go right ahead.
What are your opinions on cameras in the court?
Cameras in the court. That's something for the court to comment on. I have no idea. In terms of my opinion on it, I can't. Obviously, it's nowhere even near my decision because the courts are a different branch. But I would say, if I was a judge, I'd be okay with it. But again, it's up to them, not me. Viper, do you have a question? I'm sorry if I've been ignoring you. I don't mean to.
The only way you're getting in this jailhouse is through the federal prison system.
Viper, do you have a question?
I have another question.
Okay. Can I go to Toxie first for just a minute? I didn't get to.
Yes,
I
of
actually
course.
interrupted him when I was telling people to get off the stage.
Go ahead.
I feel that going to the database and back to I agree 100%. I think that for right now, I think that it's good to have a trial run of this and to just see how it will work. I definitely do think, though, that having developer support and having a physical card like the RFLID would be great. I think that that's definitely a major possibility, and honestly, it's probably the route that we're going to take. But for now, this is what I'd like to try. If this ends up not working, we can go back to the drawing board and figure something else out better. But this, I feel that this is a good second step in this process. And
All right.
Dev, you can go ahead now.
All right. So, acknowledging the fact that you said there are pretty much two sides of this, and we're making a compromise.
That is true.
This is kind of a two-part question. I'd like to know which side are you on those two sides that you said before, and also what are your thoughts on the fact that criminals are going to get guns regardless of
He's having a.
regardless of if they're
Rylan, what are
legal
you
or not?
doing?
Criminals.
I apologize. The second part of your question got interrupted. Will you repeat that for me?
Yes. So
Yo, can you like stop?
All right,
entertaining this
Oss,
guy
I'm gonna have to
for a
mute
minute? I
you
wanna hear
because you're
Gio's
not
side.
adding to the conversation at all. I'm sorry, you're just
All
not.
right. So the second part of
I
the
have a
question was
question.
the second part of the question was
Yo, what's your
so.
question, dude?
What do you think about the fact that criminals are going to be able to obtain these guns through illegal means? I mean, they're not legal guns, obviously, but illegal guns.
Yeah, so let me answer the first part of your question first, which was what side am I on? So what I said when I first signed this law is that I didn't want to pick a side, honestly, because having never owned these weapons myself, having never used them myself, because I'm not allowed to possess them, and I've been governor since they were created. But what I wanted to do in this situation was find the best solution that worked for most people, is what I wanted to do, because I enjoy using guns, but I also want to protect people from excessive amounts of violence and being just shot off the street, because it's perfectly legal for someone to walk around with an automatic firearm so long as they haven't done anything with it yet. That's what I'm thinking, is my thoughts on it. And now the second part of your question, which was what do I think about the fact that criminals are going to be able to buy these guns in an illegal fashion? I would say that that's always been a thing, and there's nothing we can do about that. I would say that the best thing that we can do is try to make it so that the government is not hurting people who don't deserve it, and people who are law-abiding and want to use these weapons in a legal fashion. Those people should be allowed to have them. We can't stop the illegal dealer from existing. It is it is a developer oversight thing.
I have
I hope that answers your question. I don't want to repeat myself too many times here.
I have a
Yeah,
question
yeah,
that's been sitting in me.
I have
Just
a-
one
I
more.
have
Comrade-
One more.
question.
One more little thing.
I have a bunch of questions.
I
One more
was
little thing.
waiting
I have a
for
question
me.
too.
Do you think that this will reduce gun crime?
I don't know. I hope so.
Okay.
Large, I have a
That's all.
question.
Okay.
Can
no,
we
I
go
have-
to Comrade and then Oss, and then we'll come up stage here.
All right.
Carlos has
Do
a
you
question
believe
too,
that
the
there is
camera
a
guy.
difference between gun control and gun regulation?
No.
Fucking fascist.
All right.
Amy,
I
Cody,
think that
bullshit.
I think that gun control and gun regulation ends up being just ways that politicians try to avoid citizens being mad at them. I don't really think you can do that. I think you have to be honest and just tell people the facts of what's going on. And I hope that I'm doing a good job of that. Obviously, if I'm not, then the election is coming up and you vote for somebody else. But I hope that I'm doing the best that I can to be as honest as possible.
Before I'm done, why do you always entice us with wonderful things like expungement reform, but that can only happen if you get reelected?
I don't think I ever
Seems like you're
promised
dangling-
expungement reform.
Damn, you're getting packed by a little kid, Large, bro. Oh my.
Like you're dangling in front of us, like you're
Comrade,
one of those
I never
fishing rods
promised
in
it.
Minecraft. It's
Comrade,
very
this is
frustrating.
excuse me. Comrade, this is the first I'm hearing of expungement reform. What are you talking
I
about?
feel like expungement right now is fucking
I think he's
bullshit.
referring to
Because
your-
the thing is,
Oh, hang
you
on.
have to
Can I
watch
just
45
can I interrupt you for a minute?
real-life
I want
videos.
to hang on, Comrade. I want to swear on here too, but I really don't want you to get banned. All right? Because there's snitches around here. Just be careful, okay? because I've had a lot of friends that have.
You can't get banned off Roblox.
Yeah,
It's perfectly
just
compliant with
no, I know, but
Roblox.
I'm saying Roblox records everything until someone reports you. So just be careful, because I've been warned before for saying that kind of stuff. But anyway, I think that that's a.
I'm not scared of Roblox.
Me neither. Well, anyway, I think that you raise a really good point, but I want to know how. I want to know from you how you think expungements are bad right now, because I've never heard this from you before.
Because the thing is, with expungements, 45 days, which is in real life, for a Roblox game is pretty absurd. When you think about it, what if someone decides they want to change their life around from crime one day, but then they want to get expunged, right?
Yeah.
But then they drive a little too fast, and this cop who's pretty picky about the speed limit gives them a citation. Now they have to wait 45 days again, and the cycle repeats. So now they'll start getting frustrated with the law.
You're right.
And then they might just turn back to crime again.
You're right. That is unfair. We should do something about that. I don't know what. But we should. I think that
This guy has no answers for anything.
it might be useful to do something like. I think that it.
Take action? That is the question.
Comrade, I think it might be useful to do some. Maybe we can reduce the number of days that you have to wait. I would say that's one idea that just comes to my mind right now. We can.
Was a bad vice president. What makes you think he's a good governor?
We can do.
Find a way to make locations
Okay,
better.
anybody who's gonna sit up here and interrupt me.
He's a good governor.
Excuse me a minute. Anybody who's gonna sit up here and interrupt me, or interrupt people who are asking questions, you are not welcome here.
I have a question.
Giant, I don't know why you keep talking about my vice presidency, which was 4 years ago.
You've done okay, but you did nothing when you were vice president, Yuso. So like, and you've done.
I don't want to
nothing
hear
else
about it
when you were
anymore.
before. Okay, but you've done nothing.
I
though.
don't want to hear about it.
But you did
In
nothing as
Ridgeway,
vice
we've
president.
done tons of stuff.
You're as useless as your current position right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, I'm not taking any. I'm not gonna talk about that anymore. That's not true at all. You're filling everybody full of crap.
So answer my question. I feel like ever since you got into office, you've killed like the crime community. That's what I feel like.
I don't think so.
Your crime plays a big part in this community.
And crime does play a big part because without crime, the game's not going to be active at all. No one wants.
I agree.
Nobody wants a bunch of.
I agree, but something that I said when I was running is that the health of the crime community isn't the government's job and never will be. It's developer oversight's job only. Because crime is a development aspect of the game. It's not something the government is not going to come around and endorse that crime exists. That's completely FRP. Completely. There's no way that the government's going to come forward and say, we support people breaking the law. No, we don't. But
I want to hear Comrade's take on this.
yeah.
Mr. Comrade, what do you think?
Large Titanic, I believe you said.
I'm sorry, Os, go ahead.
Okay, first of all, if you want to get rid of illegal guns, why don't you just get rid of that illegal gun dealer over by that?
Because we can't. So something that everybody here, especially you, Jion, who was just talking about this, we can't get rid of the illegal dealer, no matter what we do. It's always going to be there. The government cannot get rid of it. It is a development aspect thing. Crime is a developer aspect thing. We can't get rid of that.
Well, to be honest, you just sound like a puppet, bro. You just sound like you're a puppet of the Ridgeway elites, to be honest.
What's
That's
up,
what
Os?
you sound like you are.
Do you plan to legalize THC carts?
What's THC?
What?
Well, I know what it is in real
He's
life,
talking
but what's it?
about
What is it
drugs.
here?
He's talking about drugs.
Do you plan to
mentioned
legalize
marijuana
medical
and
marijuana?
drugs.
I'm not aware of it being in the game. If it was in the game,
Do not legalize
it probably would
marijuana.
already be illegal. I don't know. I don't know. It's not in the game. I don't really.
Okay, so I have a question. If you can't promote crime, why don't you guys open more business jobs like Boulder County?
Because in a certain aspect of. Okay, I don't accept the premise of your question, number one, because we're not working against businesses opening jobs. It's one of the reasons why any sort of laws that the Senate has proposed to make it harder for businesses to open up shop, I have not supported. But when it comes to making it easier for businesses to apply, it's as easy as it's ever been right now. You can open a business quite easily. The Secretary of State's office will pick up the phone right away. But are you talking, Giant? I wonder. Giant, I wonder. Are you talking?
You guys are like on your last feet right now. Like
Giant, I
Cops
wonder,
are playing
are you
the game, you guys
talking?
won't have any more people
Are
playing
you
them anymore.
talking about business development?
I'm just talking about businesses in general.
Well, in terms of businesses in general, that is a government thing. That's something that we've worked very hard to make it super easy to start a company. In terms of like having a building or a car in game,
Bro,
unfortunately, we can't do anything about that.
Everything seems like it's like a developer's problem. So it just seems like.
Well, that's
this is
because a
like,
lot of the things that you're talking about are physical game changes, which we can't make. You know what I'm saying?
And these changes are as well. It's like holding the game back from being active.
Well, I mean, we can certainly. I can bring it. I mean, anyone can bring it to the attention of the devs, but I can certainly do that as well. But ultimately, it is up to them to actually do something about that because the government does not have access to change that stuff. But I can certainly talk to DO about that and see what they think.
I'm just pointing it out because.
No, you're right.
I know it gets pretty boring when you see the same 5 cops.
You're right,
patrolling.
100%.
It's gotten to the point where you guys arrest people for like speeding now. Like that's how like dead Ridgeway is now. Like back then.
I don't agree that Ridgeway is dead. At all.
Cops never had the time to like arrest people for speeding back then, at least.
The man who died, who gave
Mr. Titanic, what's your opinion on the
Oh my goodness.
Pinkerton security call?
Pinkerton Security. I'll be honest with you. I heard about them for the very first time when their car got added. But I think that's fantastic. I think we should have more stuff like that around here. Of just businesses popping up where they've got their own vehicle or their own stuff to do in game. I think that's great. I did not expect that to happen when Square added it. I was pretty surprised. But
Can you get out of my seat?
I think Pinkerton is great.
Very incompetent. I'm not a fan of them.
Yeah, just get out of my seat.
Oh, are they?
Get to talk. I like
I have a question.
Yeah.
I didn't
they're
know that.
Oftentimes very inactive when I try to request them.
Who was the
They
one
guard me on my
on the
phone.
stage that was
Dude, you
asking?
need to shut the hell up.
Rylan, were you asking a question?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. You need to shut.
Rylan, go ahead.
They're just trying to do their jobs. They're trying to do their jobs now.
After I'm done, man, I scheduled this.
I think Rylan has an important announcement he wants to make.
Any other Viper? Go ahead.
Yo, 306 Rylan, can I come join you up on stage? Just I gotta practice.
No, shut up.
I heard about this Ryland guy. He's
Not
like,
right now,
big enough
Viper.
to be able
No,
to talk.
there's not.
I heard 306 Rylan.
There are laws that state that you can protect your property. Not, I guess not laws per se. There's always been the notion of castle doctrine that you are empowered to defend your property from attacks. Oh, that's great.
Alright, guys.
Officer down, officer down. Give him CPR.
Alright, guys. Alright, guys.
Hero cry.
Everybody sit down. Everybody sit down.
I'll sit down.
Hey, everybody in Discord chat. It looks like Peace has requested to speak. Hi, Peace.
Yo. My
It's
question
your
was,
friendly neighborhood transit
Large,
director.
my question was, what is the government's thoughts on gay marriage in Ridgeway?
We don't allow marriage in Ridgeway of any kind.
Yeah,
Don't
but
have
what
I
about
mean, I
the
guess you
gay
could
kind?
technically get married, but I'll tell you that the government has no plans to make any laws regarding marriage at any time.
We gotta stick up for people like Arium and Clown Honks.
It's not illegal.
And maybe Rangeet. Yeah. Alright, that's all I had to say. Thank you, Governor Large.
Thank you,
Please
Peace
don't make
Johnson.
gay marriage illegal.
All right, thank you, Peace Johnson. Hello, everybody. Excuse me. I'm gonna mute Rylan again because that is very noisy. Comrade, calm down, please. Okay, comrade, if you are gonna blow up in here. Okay, I have to mute everybody who's currently up on stage because I cannot hear anyone who's talking over the two of you. Comrade, if you are, like, really upset about the press conference right now, you should probably just step out. Okay? I think I will go to Adore QBL, and then we'll go to Val. I'll come to you. Looks like first of all, when it comes to why I decided to do it, it's because a large portion of the community wanted us to do it, and still does. Well, that's the reason why I did it. That's the reason why I did it, comrade, is because a large portion of the community wanted us to. That's the.
I can't even hear you over this. I apologize.
Okay.
Just answer my question later when he gets upset.
Okay, I can't hear him because I muted him.
Hey, can you get out of my seat, please?
Guess who's done with the jail? Y'all
He's
niggas
going
are
to jail! He's a criminal! He's a damn criminal!
I think I think we'll go. I did it, comrade, because a lot of people in the community wanted me to.
Governor, what are you gonna do about the huge rape issue?
That's the only reason. If people didn't, if
there's a rape issue.
I think you got an alarm going off.
Shit. I need to empty my sink tank real quick.
Okay. Adore QBL. Go ahead. What's your question? Yes, please, Toxie. You seem to be the only police officer. Oh, there's Gemma here too. Hi, Gemma. Opinion on welfare checks for the less fortunate like me, myself, old grandma. We can't really do that at the current moment because, like I've said before, we don't have like a government checking account. Like we can't really do that. But I do appreciate your. Yeah, we can't really do that, unfortunately. I'm sorry. We don't have a government checking account. We can't. The government can't afford jack shit. The government can't. I'm just gonna say it. Somebody can report me if the government can't afford jack shit.
Yeah,
we're broke.
Roblox account.
Yo, can someone tell Lars to unmute me?
Yes, Dev. You are next.
All right, so this is also a two-part question.
Oh man, how many of these are you gonna ask me tonight?
Oh man, quite a few. I'm grilling into you tonight.
Okay.
Anyway,
can this cop like stop abusing me? He is violating my rights. Get out of here. No, get out of here.
Sit down, woman.
Yes, because you're a dude. You're wearing a female hair even though you're a dude. I don't want to hear it.
Or entertain ideas.
I have a direct. I'll tell you that I do have a direct line of contact with development. I talked to. It's because I'm probably. It's. If I'm just being honest, it's because I'm also a community manager.
Doesn't matter because he's just a puppet and he.
Excuse me, Jayan. I'm trying to answer his question. Do you plan to let me do that?
I mean, yeah.
All right. Give me. Thank you. Let me tell you. I think that I do have a direct line of contact with development. In terms of my ability to push them to do something, I have done it before. I've been able to present a decent idea to Square and to the development team and say, this is what I think that we should do. And I've been able to get them to agree before, but honestly, it's not a black and white issue. They don't do everything that everyone says. And ultimately, this is Square's game. And it was Square and Dave's game before Dave left. But it is up to him what he wants to do. But I can certainly push ideas to him and propose some stuff to him.
Is Ridge Ray for sale? Is Ridge Ray for sale?
No, it is not.
Because a rich guy like me could buy Ridge.
Okay, please go sit down.
Yo, Gian, can you give me some limited to gamble, please? I have a crippling gambling addiction. I need to flip.
Sure.
Please, Gian.
I'd ask you, do you support the idea?
Gian, I need to flip.
I'll tell you this, because I don't want to go down this rabbit hole of bringing. I'll tell you that I don't want to bring real life politics into this even a little bit. So what I'll tell you is the government has no. my administration has no plans to make any laws regarding marriage at any time in the foreseeable future.
All right, thank you.
How do you feel about the George Floyd?
Hey, insert. How you doing? Oh shit.
Yo, Ryan, can I sit next to you?
Insert, don't get banned, man.
Alright, Ryan.
You better stop playing whatever that is. Somebody's gonna report it.
The big
Yo, Gian, bro, I'll let you have the pass. Oh, get this.
Insert, do you want to talk here or do you want me to invite you to speak on stage?
He just assaulted me. Send him to jail. Send him to damn jail. He just put his hands on me and he's a monkey.
All right, what are we doing today?
Hey, insert, we're having a press conference. You got a question for us?
No, I just raised my hand to say what's up.
I signed a bill into law, the Gun Rights Act.
Oh, what does that do?
It makes it so that you can have a license to have weapons that have a magazine that's greater than 15 rounds. And I do believe that it's very potentially Jeff Pack standing in front of me.
A man of compromise, I see. All right.
That was not 3 seconds. Hey.
I like that. You're pulling a President
Yes,
Kirkman.
comrade.
Shut up, comrade.
What's your opinion on making square rails have more trackage inside of the state
Get
of
some
Ridgeway?
bitches. Stop playing this game, you loser.
So, do you want me to actually like talk about the development aspect of the trains? Because I do know a little bit about it.
Yes.
All right.
please,
Whoever
I love
is
trains so
making moaning noises, it's neither the time nor the place. So the problem with the trains is that they do drag a little bit on performance. Square actually really enjoys trains a lot and was planning on putting a great deal more of them into the state, but they're just such a drag on performance in the game. He's already trying as best that he can to maintain the level of performance that it is now as we build Milton and as we get ready to expand into that. So unfortunately, I think the answer to your question is probably no, but I'm always hopeful that we're going to have more
Can
trains.
you tell Square to
Rylan, you talk anytime you want.
Could you tell Square
You
to
have
not
me
act
muted.
like
I just
Lauren
wanted to
McDougal?
say,
Could you tell that?
Talk anytime you want.
How did he do that?
Okay, new
Hold
rail
it
crossing
up.
bells are probably going to be added to Ridgeway, I'm going to tell you that. I finally convinced Square to add new cool railroad crossing
That's
bells
great. Can you
over
not
the
stand up
limit
here though?
from-
I'm trying to finish up.
Dude, no
I'm
one
trying to prevent
cares
you from
about your
getting assassinated.
special. No one cares about like your.
What,
retarded
Rylan? You talk anytime you want.
I love trains, bro.
Talk anytime you want.
Can you
Bro, you have me
stop
muted.
No, I don't.
Oh, hey. Alright.
Don't stand there.
Squarehead dude, you know. Oh, my bad.
Thank you.
Original gangster. Squarehead dude will not be doing development because he is focused on a Mayflower remake.
No, he's not.
And he's a loser
That's
alongside
complete
Lauren
crap.
McDougal, and they non-stop
That's
grind
true,
this game because it's a money hungry game. And
Rylan.
this game has 0 players.
Okay, I am muting you now because you're filling everybody full of crap
And
here.
Square's a loser, and he likes playing games all the
Shut
time.
up, Large. Norm
Yeah,
doing
so do
nothing
all
but
of you. I'm
crap.
just saying.
Can I talk? Can I have my speech yet?
What the hell is your? Why the hell are you mad because people like to play video games when that's exactly what you're doing
You are
right
not
now?
one of the fun, like,
Can I
fake
speak?
gameplay. You are not.
We're not.
I don't see the problem here. Okay. Any other questions? Toxie, go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, we don't. I have a question. Can you shut the fuck up so we can listen to the research?
These weapons that you are allowing are obtained in an illegal way. You're planning on changing the illegal dealer? No, we're not.
This
Yo,
is how all this
let's Rylan talk. Let me have a
said this 1,000
statement.
times.
Let
I
the
will
brother
answer
talk.
questions. Alright.
I will take. I'm gonna take 2 more because it's getting to be about an hour since we started, and I don't want to.
Yeah. Ultra, I got you.
Do you like Pat?
Adore QBL. Go ahead.
Alright, so like, what happens with a BA option?
What's your opinion on former Governor Medina?
I don't play this game.
I think
Next
that
question.
Medina faced a lot of challenges in his time. Unfortunately, he did betray us to Boulder,
Next question.
What happens with a 3A
which
option
really
that's up on
sucks.
the block?
Yeah, Dev, you got a question? What's your question?
I think that he sort of set the precedent that what the governor was doing
Hey, Dev, what's the question?
didn't really matter that much. He had a lot of times where it ended up looking like anyway that the governor got overridden, and I think that's mainly just because Dev Gralius was always really, really hard on the government. He was really, really hard on the government. And what that ended up meaning was that stuff that Medina wanted to do was not always allowed.
Daniel Larson?
So that's not entirely. I'd say it's about half and half because at the same time he wanted to do a lot more than he could, but on the other hand of it, Dio came down on him quite a lot because of other things that previous people in his job had done as county executive and also as governor. For example, like the governor used to be able to go on RNG team until Matrix abused that privilege.
You like cats?
Rylan, I'm just going to let you know right now, and this is a ground rule, when I schedule a press conference, you do not get to come in here and take it over. You can do yours when I am done.
You like cats?
Alright, get out. I'm done talking to you, man. Get out. Seriously.
Do you like cats?
That's kind of bullshit. Does somebody ask me if I like cats?
Hold on here.
Yes.
I do like cats. Dev, I'm gonna go to some other people and then I'm gonna come back to you, okay? I think it was somebody behind, I think Cooler Bro 2007 had a question. Somebody needs to quit breathing heavily because this is not the time or the place for that. You just need to go somewhere private and then you can finish off whatever you're doing.
With this new firearm,
Insert, you need to keep your pants on, man. I'm telling you, this is a public event.
Alright, what happens when the SVM op shooters blow up on the block?
They'll be dealt with in a different timely manner.
This is really good vodka. They're probably never going to be legal, I'm just telling you now. Yeah, they're probably not going to be legal. They're probably going to stay illegal at the current stage. Unfortunately.
Wait, what's illegal? Because I
Val, you can go ahead. Do you mind, just because I know that you're going to have a two-parter, can I go to R-Span here just for a minute? Who was the one from R-Span that had a question for me? Hey, Stanley, can you, I'm going to mute insert here for just a minute. Alright, now I can hear you.
Which means you're impersonating.
Sorry. Yeah, so,
this is a
I have to,
message.
resummarize because, I may have missed some things. So,
Okay.
this new law basically, prohibits, people who have felonies from having automatic weapons.
Hmm.
Is that correct?
Well,
Alright, so...
let me just clarify a little bit, because that's not entirely right. We, about a month ago, not a month, probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I signed a bill into law that completely illegalized these weapons. Completely. This bill legalizes them as long as you have applied for a license to the sheriff's office and you get that license and not committed a violent or gun-related felony.
Right.
Anyway, continue.
I know exactly what the fuck you're talking about. For this, system.
Your name.
So my question is, what about those people who are not this press conference, who may not be aware of this new law? They have an automatic weapon, they have a felony, they didn't know about this law, so they get arrested for it.
Well, unfortunately, anything that you're talking about has already happened because it has been illegal to possess these guns for probably 3 weeks. So in terms of that, this particular bill that we're signing is not going to have any effect on that because that already happened. What is going to happen now is that the sheriff's office is going to end up releasing an application process to get these licenses so that you can now possess these guns again.
Right, okay.
Dev, let's go to you.
Alright, so this is the next Stanley, what's up? Alright, so the first part, I wanted to ask, how long is there a wait time? So I haven't read your law yet, but I saw your reiterating what you just said. You said you have to apply through the sheriff's office to get this license. How soon do you have to do that? Is there a carryover period from right now for a certain amount of days?
The grace period is going to be from now until the sheriff's office is actively accepting applications for these licenses.
Is there any estimated time on that?
Probably no more than a week.
Okay, and And my second question, would you support talking to developers about new crops, maybe even illegal
Yes,
or lucrative?
I would.
crops? All right. Thank you.
I have a question. I have a question.
Go. Oh, you're back, Rylan. What's up?
Why did you kick me from the game, Lark
I didn't
Titanic?
kick you from the game. Somebody else did.
Dude,
Yo,
this
I have
is
a
false
question,
moderation.
It must have been Drow. He's the only other. Or Gemma. Gemma's in game, right? No. Yeah.
This is blatant corruption.
Yeah. It wasn't me.
from
It would have been the other.
moderator
It would have been.
system team
It's gonna be another mod.
and the government.
Probably Drow.
There should be no mods in the
It
government.
is probably Drow. Okay.
No
Shush.
mods in the government, I tell you.
Okay. Close your hole, cause we're gonna take a question from Cooler Bro 2007. Can we lower?
There's 24 flying roadblocks.
How much older are you gonna say I am? Is it gonna be 30 next?
I don't know. I'm just gonna keep guessing.
Okay. Continue guessing.
21.
Can you repeat your question, Cooler Bro? There's a really loud guy next to you who's making it hard to. He does happen to be a senator, so I mean, take that as you will.
I'm speaking my truth. You just won't let me talk.
I do let you talk, but you're interrupting other people who want to ask me a question. You're not the only one in the room,
Sun is down.
Can we lower the times for expungements, like the amount of time you have to wait? I think that's a really good idea. I think that right now it's 45 days is what I was told. I think a good idea to propose might be changing it to 30 or maybe 25, just as a starting point. I don't think that when it comes to this kind of it's 30, not 45. Okay. Well, then maybe we lower it to. Oh, it depends on how many records you have. Okay. Yeah, I don't remember any of this stuff.
You don't even know.
It's been a while since I've looked at it.
Why do you not know this?
Yeah,
Why do you not know this?
Cooler. I think that's a really good idea. To talk about lowering the rates. Comrade, stop it, please. Thank you. Yes, adore QBL. What do you think about taxes? What do I think about taxes? I have a feeling that you are talking on behalf of some of these people, which is okay. But I will, assuming this, Rylan, I'm answering Adore's question right now. I'll get to you after. Okay? Can you wait?
No.
I don't want to have to keep talking to you like you're 7. All right? Just give me a minute.
I am 7.
You're not 7. Adore, I had great respect for taxes. He was a good friend of mine. I worked with him quite a lot. He focused quite a lot on the judicial sector of things, and he ended up, when it came to the Medina administration, he often carried the torch. That I do know, when it came to making things happen. So that is one thing that he did do. Unfortunately, he was, I don't remember exactly why he got blacklisted, but he did get blacklisted by, I believe it was Arium that did blacklist him. But before that, he was a very good person to work with. For sure, he was. Rylan, what's your question? See, if you're patient, then I call on you. What's your question? If you're patient, you get called on. See how this works? Do you not remember?
What are your thoughts on Travis Kebab?
Don't even ask me about Travis Kebab. I don't want to.
Why?
Because I don't want to get into that. It's nasty.
Yeah, did you know the guy was me who he sent those messages to?
I would have been fine not knowing that.
I'm telling you. Oh shit! Oh, it's a black man! Get him! Oh my god!
Holy shit. Rylan, calm down. Rylan, why'd you run for Senate again? Didn't you do it accidentally? Yes.
No. I ran.
I think you might have.
I walked around having fun with people, and had fun, and then we said they would vote for me, so I'm just here.
All right, any other?
And I'm gonna win governor.
Okay.
I'm
okay.
governor.
Okay, not right now though. Any questions?
Yes. Can you sign my paper?
Yes.
What'd you say?
I said you're not running for governor right now. It's gonna be because the election isn't for like 2 or 3 weeks.
have voters' discretion?
Yeah, on voters' discretion. Hey, that's
Voters' discretion.
You are lieutenant governor now. You are a very good man.
Okay, hang on a minute. I'm gonna mute that guy, and Oss, I'm gonna unmute you here really quickly if I can find your name. Of course I can't because you have a display name. Never mind, you don't. Shut up, Drow. Damn it. There we go. All right, Oss, you're unmuted. What's your question?
Yo, it's Exotic Barber. Make sure to vote 306 Ryland for the next.
Ryland, can you please? You can't. Just shush. For a minute. Just shush for a minute. Okay, just for a minute.
You already lost the crowd vote, bro. They're all on my side.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody. If Ryland wants to deliver a statement, the stage is now his. Thank you all for your time. I'm going to my office if anybody else wants to ask me stuff.
I'm coming now.
Open it. Let me
Dev can come in.
Let me out.
Hey, he said I could come in. Hey.
Mr. Governor, can I come in?
I want Dev and Comrade only, nobody else. No, he thought you're trespassing. To be fair, you kind of look like somebody who's about to shoot me.
Now, I'm gonna win.
Anyway, I just wanted to discuss some of these potential.
Hey, can somebody let Stixa in as well? STIs. Not Ryland. Not Ryland. Don't. It was an accident, Comrade. Just wait a minute.
Why am I in cuffs?
Because it was an accident. Just give them a minute. Hey, Stick, how are you today?
Talk.
Stick, I hope that you are as proud as I am that we have finally signed the Gun Rights Act into law. Okay, who said that? Oss, was that you? Who's playing music? I cannot hear you because of the music. Yeah.
Backed by the government?
In real life, that's controlled through government contracts. Are controlled but it's controlled quite a lot in the law. So I think that yes, we would need to write a bill about that for sure. That would allow certain departments, probably not the governor's office itself, but certain departments would be permitted to negotiate government contracts with companies. I think that's definitely a good idea and definitely a larger discussion than just this one issue. So we should definitely talk about that more and start writing some things down, I would think. I can definitely forward that to you.
So the investigative process when it comes
Pretty hard. To make money, that's a big thing. Alright, but
Alright, well, Comrade, go right ahead. Go right ahead. That's okay. There's a lot of people who have pretty strong opinions, and a lot of times they're not the same ones as me, and that's perfectly all right. I mean, you don't have to agree with me